Right, so previously on this channel, we have took a look at a lot of tattoo drama, and today's video is no different. Turns out there is a lot of drama that happens in the tattoo world, and it is taking over TikTok yet again. Now, the timing of me recording this video is quite funny, because literally straight after I'm recording this video, I'm going to get a tattoo. So the fact that we're looking at some tattoo mistakes today probably is going to fill me with a lot of hope, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But there's two different situations that I wanted to talk about today. The first one being from an artist who posted a video talking about a mistake they made with a tattoo that has just went mad viral. And the second one being a story about how 20,000 customers have potentially been scammed from the same studio. It's a pretty big one. But let's start with the first story, right? So there's a TikToker called Spriggs with 15,000 followers who, as you can probably guess, is a tattoo artist. I mean, if we look at their page, they do like a bunch of different videos, but as you can also see, they show off the tattoos. Well, a few days ago, Spriggs uploaded a new video, and as you can see, it's on 8.6 million views, where she spoke about a mistake that she had just made on a new tattoo.
Walking in, hey, what's up? Didn't want a tattoo today at all. And they fucking had a cover-up that was, like, their boyfriend's name instead of a heart that I gave them, and I fucking black it out. So I fucking black it out, and then she's like, hey, while we're here, can I get fucking Love Conquers All with a line through it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I fucking am sitting right next to her, typing on the fucking iPad, and the spell correct does the fucking word for me. I put it through, and I look at it, and she looks at it. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? We both look at it, we both look at the stencil, we put it on, I took a picture of the stencil on her, and fucking showed her. And then she pays, and like goes to leave, and she's looking at the picture, and she's like, you fucking spelled it wrong.
Yeah, so a pretty shitty situation all around. And you can see that Spriggs is very emotional about this, and I don't blame her, right? It's just the tattoo that turns out that the spelling's wrong on it. Now, she said that the tattoo was a Love Conquers All tattoo, and obviously she spelled something wrong. People assumed that it was obviously Conquers that was spelled wrong. And she did make a follow-up video talking about how she spelled it, and as we can see in this comment right here, she spelled it C-O-N-C-O-U-R. So yeah, pretty wrong to say the least. But this is what I will say, because clearly Spriggs is kind of beating herself up about all of this, and as we'll get into the video a little bit further, she's had a pretty bad reaction from the person who has like got the tattoo. But at the end of the day, she written out on an iPad, she says the autocorrect changed the words, they printed out the stencil, the customer has seen this multiple times, has approved it, and they didn't catch it was spelt wrong. Like, in my eyes, and I might be wrong, I just don't see how the customer can fully put the blame on the tattoo artist in this situation. Every time I've got a tattoo, you have every chance to change things that you don't like about it, especially if something is spelt wrong. Like, I guess the experience might be slightly different with different artists, but from my experience, you will see it written on the iPad. You can see if you want things changed before it gets printed out into a stencil. And then even after that, you put the stencil on your arm, you can see if things are spelt right, I guess. I don't really have any letters. I mean, I have one tattoo that has letters in it. But regardless of that, if there's anything that I'd want to change in that scenario, I could before the tattoo actually happens. So yeah, I don't think Spriggs should be so hard on herself. If I was getting a tattoo that was words, the thing that I would make sure is that it's 100% spelled correctly.
And I'm like, dude, what do you mean it was spell checked? We both looked at it. And she fucking is pissed, and she's calling me a dumb bitch, and like, I'm sorry, I fucked up your tattoo. What do you want me to do to fix it? Do you want to wait till it's healed? Do you want to fix it right now? Do you want me to like... I'm trying to fucking fix it, and like, she's like, I want it fixed right now, and I'm like, okay, well, you have to tell me how you want to fix it, or it's not gonna get fixed. I can't do anything until you tell me how you want me to correct this situation.
I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of the responsibility also has to be put on the person who's getting the tattoo here, especially with spelling. But I also do get, if this happened and you were the customer, you would be pissed off. If this happened to me, I'd be pissed off. I'd be pissed off at myself for not noticing. But the fact that she's reacted by calling a tattoo artist a dumb bitch, even though she saw the tattoo multiple times and approved it multiple times, it's just an incredibly rude way to go about it. And I mean, I don't know how big the tattoo is. If it's a Love Conquers All tattoo, I imagine it's not written that big. It probably is fairly easy to cover up. Maybe it's not, maybe it is a big tattoo. And we're gonna get to the reaction of this video in just a second, because there are a lot of people who are on Spriggs' side, but there is also a lot of people who aren't, which, I mean, I disagree with pretty strongly.
Like, her son was here, and like, I'm giving him juice, and like, my daughter's here because I wasn't gonna tattoo today, and like, she wants my attention. And it's like fucking 2.5 hours later. And like, I did the best I can. I fucking hate when I do this. It's only happened a couple times. And I want to give her all her money back. But at the same time, like, you sign paperwork that says I'm not responsible for misspelled words. And, like, you stared at it with me multiple fucking times. And told me it was okay. And now it's my fault. I'm like...
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you obviously do sign a waiver when you get a tattoo to say that the person is not responsible for, like, any mistakes in terms of, like, spelling and whatnot. And, you know, you should be pretty cautious on the things that you sign. You know, you should mean the things that you sign. So if you are signing something that says that the tattoo artist isn't going to be responsible for the spelling, you should probably check the spelling yourself. Yeah, I think if I was a tattoo artist, which I could never be because I'm not artistic in the slightest, but if I was, I'd probably just stay away from words in general. You know, too much can go wrong. And like I said, there is some people that are defending Spriggs in this, but there's a lot of people that aren't. I mean, we have a comment here saying, you signed paperwork saying I'm not responsible for any misspelling. Girl, what? How are tattoo artists not responsible for words they misspell? And I mean, it's got quite a lot of likes on his comment. And the way she's written his comment is almost like saying that it's really shocking that this is the case, that like tattoo artists make people sign stuff for this. But I think it's pretty obvious why people would sign this, especially like when, you know, you get a tattoo of someone's name. How's the tattoo artist going to be responsible for the name being spelled correctly? And they're a tattoo artist, right? Their job doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good at spelling. And I get it, right? You should probably check, give it a Google, make sure that it's right. But she says that the iPad did autocorrect it to a word that was right, it just didn't match a sentence. And I think a lot of people maybe assume that these artists will just like freehand it on someone's body and just be like, right, sit back, I'm gonna write this and I promise it'll be right. Which isn't the case in most cases. There's only ever been one time that someone has like freehanded something on my body and that was just like a little change on a tattoo that I wanted. But every fresh tattoo I've got, the stencil goes in your body. You gotta check it in a mirror. Check it as many times you want before they actually put the needle into your body. Like, you can check everything. I mean, here's another comment saying, as soon as my tattoo artist busts out the legally binding, it's not my fault if I misspell your tattoo paper, I'm finding another artist. I honestly don't know any artist that wouldn't do that. Maybe there is. Maybe it's different in certain areas. I haven't been tattooed by the most people in the world, right? I don't have the most tattoos in the world. But I've probably been tattooed by like 4 or 5 different people at this point. And each person has made me sign something at first. So yeah, she probably should have checked it fully, made sure it was completely spelt right. I do get that. You can put some of the responsibility onto her. But I do think a lot of the responsibility has to go on the person getting the tattoo. And they have no right to respond by calling her like, what was it, a dumb bitch and all this shit. She had every right to check it herself. It's going on her body forever. She should probably be checking 100% that it is spelt right. So yeah, I personally think Spriggs is being far too harsh on herself. I'm curious to see how this situation does unfold, because it's only been going on for the past couple of days. Is she going to fix the tattoo for this person? If so, it's going to be a very awkward meeting, I feel like, after, you know, she's just been called a dumb bitch by her. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. This video's just went mental over the past few days, so I just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Now, another tattoo situation I wanted to talk about is something that I didn't even know existed. And it's this place right here we can see on a TikTok by someone called Brandon Wake, and it's called Ephermal Tattoo. Ephermal Tattoo? Not sure how to pronounce it. But this first video we're watching right here is pretty old. It's from 2022, but you'll see why we're showing an old video at first, because this situation has been going on for a long time. But basically, the premise of this place is that they do tattoos that last 9 to 12 months or 9 to 15 months. So they fade over time. It's for people who want to get a tattoo, but they don't want it to last forever, which I don't really get why this would be your solution, because they do fade over time. So for like a lot of months towards the end, you're going to have like a very faded tattoo where certain parts might have faded more than the other parts of the tattoo, and it's just going to look like a complete mess. But a lot of people were interested in this, 20,000 to be exact, according to the tattoo shop themselves, and you can probably see where this story is going, can't you?
Have you ever wanted to get a tattoo but you haven't been able to decide? Well, now there's Ephemeral Tattoo. They only last 12 to 15 months. Let me show you how it's done. Once you get there and check in, you see a little presentation about the fading process. There's some snacks and a really comfortable waiting room where you can meet with your artist to go over the design. I wasn't even that nervous because, honestly, it was only going to last about a year and a half.
I mean, in hindsight, now that I know what happens here, it's quite funny to hear him say he wasn't nervous because it only lasts a year and a half. It's lasted a bit longer.
We sketched it on and shaved the area. My artist was super collaborative and worked with me to figure out the best placement and size. And then he got to work. Yes, it's real needles. It's just like a real tattoo, but the ink will eventually fade. I can't wait to show you guys the finished product.
Yeah, so you get the gist, right? It's a normal tattoo just with different ink that will fade over time. And in a follow-up video around the time that he got this tattoo, he showed what the process is like, right? So for example, we have a tattoo here after a month, and then another tattoo after 5 months, already started fading. 9 months, it's nearly completely gone, and 12 to 15 months, it is completely gone. So I guess this is something that people would be interested in. Again, I don't really get it, because you're gonna have like a tattoo that's gonna look pretty shit for a few months. Like, yeah, you might have one that looks like a fresh tattoo for 4 or 5 months, but then you've got like another like 7 to 10 months of it looking pretty shit, so I don't really get it. But either way, it has now officially been 2 years since Brandon got this tattoo, and you would think that the tattoo should be completely gone, right? 12 to 15 months, it should be completely gone. It's now been 24 months. It's not gone.
Remember a couple years ago when we had those ephemeral tattoos that were supposed to last only 9 to 12 months? Well, I got one, and I'm here to give you an update. It has officially been 2 full years since I got that temporary tattoo, and this is what it looks like. And remember, at the time, they were telling us they would fully fade between 9 and 15 months after you got it. Okay, so it's huge. It was on my thigh. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like it hasn't faded hardly at all. It kind of just looks like when you get a fresh tattoo and it starts peeling a little bit. Like, that does not look anywhere near the pictures that you showed originally.
What really kills me is not so much that I was scammed, but that I'm going to have a very ugly looking fading tattoo for way longer than I ever would have thought, maybe even up to a year.
Oh, maybe longer than that, man. Like, if he's done it for 2 years and it's only faded that much, that feels like it's probably going to be there for at least another 2 years. I don't know, maybe the fading process towards the end will go a lot quicker. I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, I mean, he's been lied to. And as he also goes on to mention at the end of this video, the tattoo shop that has been doing these tattoos has now shut down, I think for pretty obvious reasons. And Brandon is definitely not the only one. We are going to show a bunch more people who've had a very similar experience in just a second.
I obviously feel lied to. You also found out that they potentially used photoshopped images. Also, they went out of business, so yeah, if you know anything about class actions, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, if they did use photoshopped images and just completely lied to people, that is just a straight up scam. And I can already see what some of the comments in this video are going to say. You know, there's going to be a lot of people saying that people who got these type of tattoos are a bit stupid. You know, they shouldn't have really trusted it in the first place. But, I mean, they have been lied to at the end of the day. And like I said, there are a lot of cases to show this. I mean, if we go to the Ephermal Tattoos, like, subreddit, there are a lot of people with similar experiences. For example, we have this one, almost 3 years. So this is a tattoo at first, and then this is the tattoo after 3 years. Now, this one has faded quite a lot, but way later than they said originally. Here's another one showing the progress after 2 years and 4 months. Again, way longer than what it should be. Here it is at the beginning. Here's one in the middle. And then here it is after 2 years and 4 months. Again, it's faded a lot, but it's still definitely there and very prominent, and it looks shit now, right? Because it's just half faded. And God knows how long it's going to stay like this and how long it has been faded like this for, which again is a reason why I just don't get it, because you're going to be stuck with a tattoo that looks shit for months. And that's not me trying to just insult the tattoo in general, right? At the beginning, it looked quite good, but when it starts like fading and like certain parts are fading more than others, of course it looks pretty shit. Here's another one 25 months later, again faded, but definitely still there. Here's one after 17 months, again faded, but definitely still there. And again, shouldn't really be a surprise, here's another one 25 months in, and it looks pretty bad. I mean, here's the original, right here, looks pretty fresh. 25 months in, just looks like someone's kind of drew on it with like a marker, and that should probably wash off in the shower, but of course it doesn't. Now, looking into the company and how this actually works, this is how they explain how the ink works. Ephermal Tattoo, a Brooklyn-based tattoo studio, opened in 2021, promising real tattoos that fade within a year. The shop claimed its revolutionary ink was specially formulated to fade, with co-owners Brennell Pierre and Vandan Shah previously telling Harper's Bazaar that their ink was biocompatible and biodegradable to break down over time. So it looks like they just kind of made the ink themselves and decided to use people as like guinea pigs for it. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Now, in this article, it does say that they introduced a regret nothing guarantee, which offered customers a full refund if their tattoo lasted longer than 3 years. Now that they're out of business, I don't know how that's going to work, if they're still going to hold to that. And then further on the article, it says that there's a statement from the Independent that says, with over 20,000 customers to date, we know we bear a big responsibility to have the safest and most reliable tattoo product possible in the world. We consider any disappointed customer to be a major shortcoming on our part. Despite doing our best to educate customers on the number of variables that they can experience with ephemeral tattoos, not unlike permanent tattoos, the ultimate product goal at Ephermal is to reduce the variability in tattoo healing, ink vibrancy, ink usability, and of course, fade duration experiences. They then go on to say that they've done like 9 years of research and says, while it doesn't change any disappointment past customer experiences I've had, the truth is the newest ephemeral ink iterations on the market have greatly reduced the variability customers can expect. And while there will certainly be more product innovation on the horizon, customers can continue to expect that Ephermal's products claims will continue to be transparent, context-rich, and reflective of the actual data available. I mean, he's just waffling at this point, realistically. And here we have the letter that they sent out to like customers and studios where they're announcing that they're now closing down their own studios. They said that they welcomed 20,000 customers, they thanked people who trusted them and whatnot. So 20,000 customers, a lot of them have had a really bad experience. I would love to know the actual number of people that tattoo lasted way longer than it was supposed to. But then they also go on to say that they're going to sell this made to fade ink to like tattoo studios that want to purchase it and use it for their own studios. I can't imagine anyone's going to really trust that anymore, especially if they've seen the past experiences from people. But it definitely seems like they want to carry on creating this ink. Maybe it does work better now. Maybe the people that got them before were genuinely just like test subjects to this studio and they have changed it now and they've learned from the mistakes. Hopefully that's the case. They're going to carry on selling it. But it is a big shame for the people who did trust them originally, and you can say that they're stupid for doing it in the first place, but at the end of the day, they were definitely lied to. So even though they closed down their studios late last year, people are still dealing with it to this day. Brandon's video that we watched earlier was from literally just a couple of weeks ago. He's still dealing with it. A bunch of people in the subreddit are still dealing with it. It's just a shitty situation overall. I would love to know your opinions on everything that we spoke about in the comment section down below. But yeah, I'm going to leave the video there. If you did enjoy, please do a like and a subscribe if you are new. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.